Heat versus the Sixers or Raptors. We're going to preview it. I mean, we both have the Sixers. You have the Raptors, but whatever. We're going to preview the series depending on what happens now. Just flat out, to talk about the Heat and how they beat Atlanta. They beat them 4-1. They beat them handily. Trae Young, they didn't have the best series. I think, Miami's defense was great. I think they're getting their arms in the passing lanes and their hands in the passing lanes, deflecting passes, having switchable defenders. I think Max Strus, who has been one of their weaker defenders, really stepped up in this series as a defender on Trae Young when he was matched up with him. The Heat play great defense. There's no doubt about it. When talking about Trae Young not performing, I didn't think that it was anything the Heat did outstanding in terms of a scheme that totally threw off Trae Young. I think it was a combination of Trae Young naturally and throughout his career is a bad shot maker. He takes deep threes. He takes contested shots. In this series, it wasn't falling. There's a lot of times, like similar to the Nets, where you see Trae Young, there's 22 seconds left.
Shot selection.
Yeah. There's 22 seconds left on the shot clock. You see Trae Young heave up a logo three. And right when he gets a switch, instead of taking somebody to the basket, I understand there's some help there. Yeah. He doesn't make a pass, and he just instead settles for a shot. Mm-hmm. I thought it was a lot of Trae Young settling for shots. He missed a lot of shots he usually makes. This was a stinker from him. There's no excuses for him. But I want to dead the notion that this series somehow makes or breaks him. And we'll get into that later, but I just don't agree with that. This is somebody who has been averaging 28 and 10 for 2 seasons now, has been an all-star starter, has led his team to the Eastern Conference Finals. He gets the benefit of the doubt for having a stinker in this first round, and he's even admitted it. This is the first time a team has guarded me like this in terms of them trapping him and always basically the entire defense was focused on Trae the entire series. Wherever he drove, there was help. He was getting hounded. That's why he settled for so many shots. I think he got impatient. First time he's seen that type of coverage. So I think he'll bounce back from it. There's no doubt. The Hawks need to surround him with more talent. It's simple as that. As for the Heat, I love what they did. Resting Jimmy Butler in Game 5. It allowed Victor Oladipo to have a breakout game. He had 23 points in 36 minutes. And what's most impressive about this Heat series winning in 5, is that Bam Adebayo didn't play well. Kyle Lowry was hurt. Tyler Hero didn't play well. Jimmy Butler is the only Heat that you can say out of like their main guys that played well. Yeah, you had Max Strus who stepped up. Duncan Robinson did some shots here and there. PJ Tucker, I mean, we know how great of a player he is. And he did what he had to do. But Bam, Hero, 2 of the 3 best players didn't play well, and they still beat Atlanta in 5. I think that's pretty impressive. It doesn't matter who makes it, who they face, whether it's the Raptors or the Sixers. The Miami Heat are going to the conference finals. If it's against Toronto, Toronto simply doesn't have the offense to beat a team like Miami. Put PJ Tucker on Siakam, watch him go silent. That's what's going to happen. Because PJ Tucker is one of the best defenders in the NBA. There's no doubt about that. I just think Toronto doesn't have enough offense. Philly, we see what they're going through right now. Embiid having a thumb injury. Harden not being the same. Imagine if they put Tucker or Jimmy Butler on James Harden. Now we're really going to see Harden neutralized. I just feel like it doesn't matter who they face. The Miami Heat are making the conference finals. We made a segment about it last week if they have the easiest path, because they do. And rightfully so. People in the comment section said that, I mean, that's why you get the number 1 seed, to have that easy of a path. And you're right. And it's showing now, and they will be in the conference finals. There's no doubt about it.
We'll get into that Trae Young stuff later, because I got a lot to say about that. But in terms of just, Miami Heat, Miami in 6 against Philly, Miami in 5 or 4 against Toronto. Just giving
4.
They're gonna do it to Toronto. I'm gonna be honest with you. Shout out to Jimmy Butler. We've been dogging him all year about his 3-point shot. We've been dogging him all year about being aggressive.
I told you. He's one of those players that you just trust.
I don't remember you saying that, but okay, we'll go.
I did say that.
Nah, I don't remember. All I said was I don't remember.
I said that, though.
All right, I'll give you the benefit of the
Jimmy,
doubt.
there's players that even though the percentages aren't all the way there, you just trust them. I can't remember who said it, but I saw it somewhere. I heard it somewhere where Dwayne Wade, you don't leave him open from three, even though he's not a good statistical 3-point shooter.
Yeah.
You still guard up on that. Jimmy Butler's the same way. Although his statistics, his splits don't show that he can do it, you don't give him that shot because you know he can hit it.
Well, yeah, like I said, shout out to Jimmy. He's been amazing offensively and defensively. We always know Jimmy Butler's going to bring that defense. The starting five defensively, even like you said, Maxwell, shout out to Maxwell. He doesn't look like a liability. And then even when they plug in Gabe Vincent, they don't miss a tune.
I think Gabe Vincent, sorry to cut you off, but I think Gabe Vincent, right now he's better than Kyle Lowry.
This is Drew looked up a tweet that you said on the 30th. He'd have no chance. Like I've always said, Jimmy Butler can't be the best player on the championship team, a second-round exit team that overachieve. That's all this team is. He said this at 10:44 p.m. Oh, my God. That was you being reactionary.
It was a while ago, King. I'm not going to
front. You totally skimmed through the tweet about Jimmy Butler.
It was from...
I never said you can win the championship with Butler being the best player on the team. I just said I trust him.
Hey, man.
He's been elite.
Man, be fair. Get my tweet about Butler.
It's funny. I think the only teams that could beat Miami right now are the Bucks and Boston in the East. I think, given that both teams, Bucks, I think it'd be a tough series because they've always, kept Giannis in check for the most part, him being who he is. They're the best team to guard Giannis so far at his peak. And Boston, I think defensively, that's just going to be a defensive dogfight. 6-7 game series. Boston, offensively, is Miami going to be able to keep up? But defensively, I think they'll be able to lock down. So it'll just be two defenses. It'll be an amazing series. But I think right now, Miami's looking like they're going to go walk to the ECF. Their defense has been nothing short of amazing. One of the best defenses in the league, able to switch 1 through 5. They were able to basically do what Boston did to Kevin Durant and just bully Trae Young and just treat him like a boy and just manhandle him throughout the series. He was looking for multiple switches. He couldn't find it because they had defenders everywhere. So, simple and short to the point. Miami's going to destroy Philly, especially with Embiid, having this hand injury. It's going to be tough for him. Bam is a tough matchup, and they're going to be able to trap and keep one guy on, James Harden. PJ knows his game. Jimmy Butler's an elite defender. And then Toronto, they're just going to be able to lock up every single person they put out there. So, yeah, Miami's going to the ECF.
Just to be fair to Joel Moran, that tweet was from 2020, so I was just being a bastard. That was a while ago.
Yeah.
But
he was being a dick.
Yeah, I was just for the lulz.
But then when we bring up your Lakers 65 wins,
that was this season, so that's fair.
Yeah. Nothing like bringing 2-year-old tweets.
Oh no, for sure. So to talk about the Heat versus 76ers and or the Raptors, I do believe that it will be the Raptors.
You know what's funny? Before you go on your spiel, that's something I would have tweeted this year. And I didn't know it was from 2020. If you wouldn't have said that, I would have thought it was from this year.
I want it to be fair.
Because that's something I probably would have tweeted this year.
That's false advertisement, and I don't want to do that to you, King. But the Heat are an interesting team because I'm looking at the performance that they put forward on the Hawks, and I wasn't really blown away by their performance. I will acknowledge that they did win in 5, and that's very impressive. But I'm not overreacting to their performance against the Hawks because from watching back the games, Trae Young really was just not in a mindset that I was expecting him to going into this series, where it seemed as if he was rattled. He said it that this is the first time in a long time that he's faced a defense that has pressured him the way that the Miami Heat have pressured him. And from watching it, yes, there were some moments where they were really trapping very well on Trae Young, but in certain moments, he's seeing the help defender, and that's more so in his head than anything, and it's forcing him into a bad shot. And I feel as if when you're a superstar, when you are at that level, the other team is not really messing you up. You're the one messing yourself up. Because in practice, you're making same shots over and over and over again. You rarely miss in practice. When it comes to game time and you're at that level, the only one really hindering your game is your mind. If you can stay out of your own mind, you usually ball. That's where the superstars really elevate themselves and separate themselves from the rest of the pack. And you have Trae Young, who last season really exhibited that in every series that he was in. But this year against Miami, he seemed to be a little bit more passive, really rattled at times, and that was really surprising to see. So for getting Trae Young rattled, I guess I have to give Miami their respect. But offensively, I still have my concerns. Jimmy Butler went on a rampage. He was fantastic, averaged over 30 points. But you look at the rest of the team.
Tyler Hero agenda pushed.
Tyler Hero agenda is being pushed. You have Victor Oladipo in just 2 games, 14.5 points average. Max Strus was their next best scorer, 14 points per game. Tyler Hero, 12.8 points per game on splits of 17.9% from 3 and 39% from the field. Tyler Hero, who is supposed to be their number 2 scorer on this team, was abysmal, but somehow, some way, they still won in 5. And I'm looking more so in the lens of Atlanta just does not have the guys. If you want to put Trae Young on a squad where he is the smallest guy on the court, you need to surround him with bodies. You need to surround him with guys that are going to play defense and guys that are going to protect him when it comes to the defensive end of the court and guys that he can trust to facilitate the ball to. Right now, they just don't have that. Now, for the preview of Miami versus the Sixers and or Toronto, in my case, Toronto, it is going to be a series where Miami is going to win, but it is not going to be one that I'm going to overreact to again. We can see it where a team makes the ECF and we're still not overly impressed with them. Yes, it's an accomplishment that you made the Eastern Conference Finals. I will give you that respect, but Toronto, who is not going to have Fred VanVleet, who offensively is just not on the level of the Miami Heat right now, the real test is going to be against Boston and against Milwaukee, whoever they're going to face, as you already alluded to. Until they face someone that I am really seeing as a true contender, I'm not going to be here saying that I'm wrong on the Heat or my assessment of the Heat has been wrong, because right now they have just been living up to that, given the fact that their offense has been mid outside of Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler's been great, and I give him his flowers, but every other teammate of his has been mid. But defensively, you give them their respect, but offensively, which is my genuine concern of theirs, it hasn't been.
When talking about the Miami Heat, if I'm projecting here, because I know they're going to the conference finals, but whether it's against the Bucks or Celtics is a different story. Against the Bucks, that's a great matchup for the Heat. And I've said it all year long that if they do face the Bucks, it would be the 3rd time they face in the playoffs. They are 1-1 now in terms of series. I would have the Heat in that. I think the matchup just favors them. When I look at Boston is Miami with Tatum and Brown. That's really it. And with shooters that can also defend. Because of that, I feel like that's a worse matchup for them. And I would pick Boston in that series, no doubt. But with the Bucks, I pick Miami.
Wow.
Glad to see it, man. Argument 1. There we go.
Argument 1.
Argument 1.